For years, they warned us that he was coming.
We're going to start the show with your new love, Victor Wembanyama.
You're going to hear a lot about him, hopefully for the next 20 years.
Unlike any player on a basketball floor that we have ever seen.
ESPN even went as far as to call him the greatest prospect in the history of team sports.
Rini, Victor Wembanyama is the singular greatest prospect in NBA draft history.
And yet, despite all of this, Victor Wembanyama somehow exceeded all of our expectations, putting together a rookie campaign unlike anything we've ever seen before.
Victor again. Oh, was quick against Holmgren.
Then, in his second season, he's become an all-star and on his way to the youngest defensive player of the year in NBA history. How is it possible that a kid from France could take over one of America's greatest sports leagues? How does a 7'5" monster, who should be camped out in the paint, develop a three-point stroke and a crafty handle? Victor Wembanyama is well on his way to having a Hall of Fame-worthy career at just 21 years old. But how high can his ceiling go? And what did it take for Wemby to become the otherworldly prospect we all know today? Today's video is sponsored by Bear Mattress, and I'm genuinely excited to tell you why. Think about this. NBA players are always talking about how recovery is one of their secret weapons. Players like LeBron James spend over $1 million per year on their body to stay in tip-top shape. Because elite players, both on and off the court, know that peak performance starts with great recovery. And a top-tier mattress plays a huge role in that. With Bear Mattress, you can bring that same level of incredible care and recovery into your own life without the NBA price tag. Bear makes it easy to find the perfect mattress with their sleep quiz. They take into account your sleep position, firmness preferences, and more. I took the quiz and I learned that I'm a side sleeper who loves a medium firm mattress. Based on my results, Bear matched me with their elite hybrid model. And let me tell you, it's like hitting a buzzer beater for my sleep game. I was so excited when I ordered online and got it delivered directly to my door just a few days later. Since switching to Bear, I've been waking up feeling like a new man. No aches, no tossing, no turning, just a solid recovery every single night. And Bear's not just my MVP. 79% of their customers report an improvement with their back pain since switching, and 82% reported better overall sleep quality. Here's why. Bear is made with sleep recovery technology, powered by Celliant infused covers. This technology helps you regulate your temperature, keeping you cool throughout the night, something research has shown is crucial for getting deep, restful sleep. Plus, Bear mattresses are clean, fiberglass free, and GreenGuard Gold certified. Frankly, I didn't even know some companies put fiberglass in their mattress, which was horrifying to find out. So I sleep way better knowing that Bear is forging their own path and not cutting any corners on their quality. If you want to perform like the pros or just feel better every day, check out Bear Mattress. Right now, their President's Day sale is live and you can save big. 40% off plus 2 free pillows when you use my code HenryHoops at bearmattress.com/HenryHoops. Trust me, this is a slam dunk for your sleep.
A limited lifetime warranty and a 120-night sleep trial.
And free shipping in the US. Go to bearmattress.com/HenryHoops and use my code HenryHoops to score 40% off your Bear mattress, plus those 2 free pillows. Don't miss out. Thank you, Bear Mattress. Now back to the video. Well, it all started just 40 minutes outside of Paris. Raised in the suburbs of France, Wemby found himself drawn to sports thanks to his parents. Both former athletes and both well over 6 feet tall, giving Victor a distinct physical advantage. By the age of 7, Victor was already 5'6", drawing the eye of more than his fair share of local scouts, which led him to being signed to his very first club. And with Victor's size, one would imagine he probably came in and destroyed all the other kids from the very first moment that he stepped on the court. But the truth is, it didn't really happen that way. In fact, at the very beginning of his basketball career, Victor struggled. Watching the footage back, it's clear that Wemby was uncomfortable in his body at this age. He couldn't dribble and he couldn't shoot. He was uncoordinated. Even his defensive instincts were way off course. And now listen, I don't say this because I enjoy shitting on 7-year-olds. I only say this to dispel the notion that Wemby was some kind of elite child prodigy right from day one. Because the reality is that wasn't the case. But it's this lack of dominance initially that wound up forcing Victor to adapt, eventually creating the superstar we all know and love today. You see, Wemby had the size from an early age, but he didn't have the innate skill or touch most child prodigies showcase. However, he did have one underrated ability, the one that all the other NBA greats had too: his elite mindset. At 11 years old, Victor decided that he wanted to be an NBA superstar. Because of this, he made the insanely brave decision to leave home by himself as a 6th grader to enroll at a live-in sports academy called Nanterre. And here, he fell under the tutelage of a trainer named Karim Boubekri, a self-described psychopath when it came to building basketball skills. Under Boubekri, Wemby was forced to do all the same drills as these smaller players were doing. And these drills weren't just normal workouts designed for kids. These were insanely complicated drills designed by NBA legend Pistol Pete Maravich, with inspiration taken from Detroit point guard Isaiah Thomas too. And as if learning the dribbling routines of the Pistol wasn't already hard enough for Victor, Boubekri also threw in drills from N1 Mixtape, forcing his pupil to play with both fundamentals as well as style and flow. Now, lots of kids at Victor's size probably would have hated this kind of training. But funny enough, Victor loved it. He understood that to make his professional dream come true and to be a truly unstoppable player, he would have to build himself both physically and mentally in all aspects of life. So Victor got to work. He stayed after practice every day to get more shots in and work on his dribbling. He studied the moves of his favorite player, Kevin Durant. And he self-taught himself English because it was quote-unquote the language of the NBA. Boubekri noticed this unique part of Wemby's game. Wemby had a mind like a sponge, soaking in basketball knowledge, then executing it within minutes or hours. Victor had so much foresight into becoming an NBA great that he even started doing these weird stretching exercises and strength training for his feet, legs, and tendons, all to preemptively combat the common injuries that plague so many tall players. This was the early evidence that Victor was not only dedicated, but also open to doing whatever it took to be the best basketball player possible. Victor refused to fall into a trap that so many tall players find themselves at a young age, relying on their height, hiding in the paint, and never developing a jump shot, handle, or basketball IQ. Soon enough, Wemby's game improved dramatically. In just a couple years, Victor's skills were starting to look just as scary as his frame. Next thing you knew, Victor was representing France at the Under-16 World Games as just a 15-year-old kid. And in that tournament, Victor managed to average 9 points and 9 rebounds, helping the team go all the way to the gold medal game. They unfortunately fell short, but for the first time ever, Victor was getting noticed. Who the heck was this 7'2", 15-year-old dominating the paint? This set the stage for a debut in front of the world at large. In the fall of 2020, Victor Wembanyama's presence became known to the basketball world after a video surfaced online of him playing 2-on-2. But in that video, Victor wasn't just playing 2-on-2 with anyone. He was playing against 4-time Defensive Player of the Year, Rudy Gobert. And crazy enough, he was holding his own. Soon, NBA fans were salivating over the idea of drafting this freak of nature. If he was capable of scoring on Rudy at the ripe age of 16, who knows how good he could be by the time he entered the league. But again, draft night was still a few years down the road. After a few more seasons of playing for Nanterre, Wemby decided to take his talents to the next level, signing with a Euroclub team named Asvel, partially owned by French basketball legend Tony Parker. It was a dream come true for any basketball prospect growing up in France. Here, Wemby hoped he could get the valuable reps in playing against the best competition the European continent had to offer. But just a year after signing, Wemby left the team and returned home to play for a small club named Metropolitan 92, a move that baffled basketball fans worldwide.
I think that that's a huge loss for the EuroLeague basketball that Wembanyama left the tournament exposure-wise.
Rumors swirled that Wemby was ducking the highly physical competition the EuroLeague was well known for. And for the first time since his emergence, people were starting to question if maybe Wemby wasn't the prospect we'd all made him out to be. I mean, 6.5 points, 3.5 rebounds, and half of assists over 13 games isn't exactly dominance. But after further investigation, it became clear that the move was actually a stroke of genius by the young Frenchman and his agent. Let me show you what I mean. You see, before Wemby signed with Metro 92, the team was on the brink of bankruptcy. Now, that might sound like a disadvantage, but to Wemby, this felt like an opportunity. His previous team, Asvel, only played him 17 minutes per game, They didn't care that he was supposed to be the next big thing. But Metro 92? This team could be his very own pre-NBA development program. It was genius. First, Wemby went out and secured the coach of his choice, French national team coach Vincent Collet. Next, he recruited a roster that complemented his skill set. He picked up elite guard prospects like Tremont Waters, athletic small forwards like Bilal Kublé and Justin James, and of course, the legend Steve Ho You Fat.
Baseline. Ho You Fat with a three. Yes, I just said that.
Surrounded by dynamic guards, shooters who could space the floor, and a coach hell-bent on developing his star center, Wemby was on his way to becoming an NBA great. And soon enough, the league took notice of these efforts.
There we go. Oh, nice contest by Wembanyama on the so dunk.
Hoping to capitalize off the 7'4" unicorn dominating the French pro leagues, the NBA scheduled a pair of games to take place in Vegas, pitting Victor Wembanyama and his team against the G League Ignite, and even more specifically, Scoot Henderson, the best American-born prospect in Wemby's 2023 draft class. These games were going to give us the best look at how well Wemby would hold up against elite American talent. And sure enough, Wemby didn't disappoint.
Terrified. That was your decision. As a man, you said, I'm going to make that decision.
Over the two-game stretch, Wemby averaged 36.5 points, 7.5 rebounds, with 4.5 blocks. A pair of Wilt Chamberlain-level stat lines in his very first nationally televised games. To say the hype was sky high after this would have been honestly an understatement. Wemby was a star, and all anyone in the basketball world could talk about. And I mean everyone.
Have you had a chance to watch Victor Wembanyama play yet?
Yeah, I watched a little bit of the game the other day.
I mean, he's generational. You know, I ain't never seen nothing like it. You know, I think he's...
You know, everybody, we're labeling like this unicorn thing. Everybody's been a unicorn over the last few years, but he's more like an alien.
Yeah, he's like the 2K creative player.
After these G League Ignite games, Wemby was literally and figuratively the biggest thing in sports. Multiple companies tried to sign him. Nike apparently put a blank check in front of him and offered him the largest contract of anyone his age. The exact number is a mystery, but the guy who signed Michael Jordan to Nike, Sonny Vaccaro, revealed that the deal was something quote-unquote no prospect ever gets. We could be talking $100 million plus before even stepping foot on the NBA court. Every star and every outlet was enamored by him. The NBA even started streaming Metro 92 games on their app. And with the NBA lottery inching closer, basketball fans were chomping at the bit to discover which team the basketball gods would bless with the best prospect in the history of the NBA. And sure enough, the basketball gods didn't let us down. Victor Wembanyama, the French icon, somehow lands with a team known for its Frenchmen and its incredible infrastructure. A match made in heaven.
In the 2023 NBA Draft, the San Antonio Spurs select Victor Wembanyama.
But much like Wemby's start in basketball as the 7-year-old kid, things didn't all click at once when he reached the NBA. During his summer league premiere, Wemby only managed to score 9 points in 27 minutes of play, going 2 for 13 from the field, and getting posterized by Kai Jones for good measure. This was not the kind of premiere we saw coming from the potential next face of the league. And as a result, the fickle internet turned against Wemby fast, calling him a bust and overrated along with a number of other very mean things. But Victor wasn't going to let any of that deter him. Just listen to this post-game press conference talking about his subpar performance in the very first game.
I haven't been here for long, and I feel like everything is calculated. There's really a good organization around me, and I think it's all working together.
These aren't the words of someone who's afraid to fail or look bad on the internet. These are the words of someone who's done the work to improve himself before and knows he can do the same again. Remember, Wemby had been mentally preparing for moments like this since his very first day struggling to get up and down the court in the suburbs of France. And now, it was just time to showcase that talent. In the very next game, Wemby flipped the script completely, scoring 27 points and pulling down 12 rebounds. Just like that, his Hall of Fame career was back on the menu, and the internet reacted accordingly. Now, Wemby was prepared to put a career worthy of the hype we had all built up for him in the first place. But nothing could have prepared us for the first season this man put together. Right from the start, Victor proved he was special. On December 8th, 2023, just a few months into the league, Victor Wembanyama became the youngest player ever to post a 2020 game at just 19 years old. He also was the second youngest player to post a 30-20 game and a 40-20 game in a game this last year against the New York Knicks. In addition, Wemby is also the youngest player to ever post a 5x5 game and only the 15th player to pull off this in NBA history. On February 12, 2024, Wemby posted a triple-double in a blowout win against the Raptors with 27 points, 14 rebounds, and 10 blocks. This made Wemby only the second person this decade to pull off a triple-double with blocks. And of course, the youngest to ever do it. Starting to see the pattern here? He's the first rookie ever to make an all-defensive first team, the first rookie to finish second in Defensive Player of the Year, and after averaging 21 points, 10 rebounds, nearly 4 assists, 1 steal, and nearly 4 blocks for an entire season, Victor was named unanimous NBA Rookie of the Year, making it one of the greatest rookie seasons ever. Not too shabby for a guy that they were calling overrated after one Summer League game. Then in the summer of 2024, Victor took his star power to another level. He signed as the official ambassador for Louis Vuitton, one of the most respected and sought-after luxury brands in the world. And he represented his home country of France on the international stage at the 2024 Paris Olympics. In those games, Victor's leadership and performance against top-tier global competition solidified his status as a bona fide superstar. He led France in nearly every statistical category, earning them this silver medal. Also, he nearly shocked the world and won a gold medal, if it wasn't for Steph Curry's insane dagger three-pointer with just 35 seconds left on the clock.
Back to Curry, dancing on Batum, over the double team. Oh!
As he entered his second NBA season, Wembanyama continued to shatter expectations. He put on more weight, got even better with his handle, and more comfortable with his size, blocking everyone from point guards to power forwards to 7-foot centers. He began experimenting with playing literally every position on the court and pulling up from anywhere.
Wembanyama, the fake.
Like D'Angelo Russell for the Lakers.
Wembanyama is Wemby. Connect.
Not boxing Victor into a role at 12 years old, forcing him to develop his skills mentally and this crazy training regimen, even prepping him for the NBA limelight by learning English and hosting televised games, was starting to pay dividends in his professional career. This next stat really exemplifies just how special Victor is. Through his first 100 games, Victor has more points than LeBron, rebounds than Patrick Ewing, blocks than Hakeem Olajuwon, and made threes than Stephen Curry, the greatest three-point shooter of all time. Victor Wembanyama has had one of the most impressive starts to a career in the history of sports. But don't just take it from me, take it from his peers.
Out there and have a presence like he does, so you have to. He makes you think there's options out there and there's ways to kind of counter it, but you just can't do the same thing you normally do.
And if somehow, after all that, you still aren't sure about Wemby and his NBA stardom, just check out this recent clip fans have been calling the greatest single-game highlight reel in basketball history. He's blocking shots against the league's very best players, hitting one-footed dagger threes,
Throw it up.
the highest pinned backboard shot I've ever seen. Any of these highlights alone would be a career-defining play. But Wemby, he did it all in one game. If he's able to stay healthy, Victor Wembanyama has a chance to break records that we weren't even aware of, like becoming the 5th player ever to accomplish the absurdly rare quadruple-double. But perhaps we're getting ahead of ourselves again. Maybe this is all just too much pressure to put on the shoulders of a 21-year-old. But then again, this is Wemby. Just listen to what he had to say when asked about all the pressure.
No, I don't feel any pressure on my shoulders or what. And I think the reason is because I'm trying to be like a free mind at all times. This is me, and I'm trying to show my true personality on the court and just be myself.
I, for one, can't wait to see what may become of Victor Wembanyama's career. Can he break LeBron's all-time scoring record, Hakeem's all-time block record, or Steph Curry's three-point record? That would be insane. Regardless of what may happen, Victor's already proven more than what most players do their entire careers. He's debatably a Hall of Famer at just 21 years old, and definitely one of the NBA's greatest superstars.